Hello everyone, welcome back to the Flying Fullback Podcast. And we are having this end of season roundup right now. So yeah, Tejume, what's up?
Well, we saw a lot of entertaining things on the last match day of each of the top five leagues. There were some championship deciders, some relegation deciders, some Champions League deciders, and a lot more. And we'll talk about all of the top five leagues. But first, let's get right into the Premier League. And the biggest story of the Premier League was Leicester missed out on the top four on the Champions League yet again for the second season in a row. They were in the top four for most of the season, and on the last day or near the end, they fell out of it. So you watched a part of that match. What do you think about Leicester and Tottenham, and how was the match like?
Yeah, see, I watched pretty much the second half of that match, and the second half Leicester were not playing good. They were trying to hold Tottenham down, but they were not able to. I mean, the change in tactics by Ryan Mason of bringing Bale on was too much to handle by Spurs. Sorry, by Leicester, and that shadow striker kind of thing which Bale was doing with Kane. I mean, that was really pushing the backline real deep in their on books. And Leicester, it was like in the last 30 minutes, it was just like headless chickens. I mean, there's no formation of any kind in either side of the pitch. Everyone was going anywhere. I mean, almost Davinson Sanchez scored one, almost. For a moment,
Yeah,
I thought he scored, but it turns out to be an own goal. I mean, so I know it's from a set piece, but still. And he had not just scored a goal, but it was a rightfully offside. And Leicester, yeah, bottled again, man. How they're able to do it for 2 years in a row is just beyond me.
yeah. Apart from that, well, Chelsea lost, but again, because Leicester bottled it, they finished in the top four. Liverpool with an excellent comeback, they finished in third after, I don't think anybody was expecting them to finish in third. At one point in the season, we were thinking that they might not even qualify for the Champions League, but
I was
they
hoping
did
they
really
were
well.
ending game with Conference League, in my opinion. At one point, I thought ki J-Links will put
Yeah.
West Ham in the Champions League, and then some way or another, the Liverpool will
I
come.
mean, yeah, you were telling me yesterday also that now the Champions League, especially from England, is getting kind of monotonous because the same teams come to the
Yeah, the
Champions League
same
year after
Liverpool,
year, and
yeah, City, United, and the Chelsea. I mean,
Chelsea.
it has
Yeah,
been 2 years since last time Spurs were in the this thing, and now Arsenal has been in since forever. They have been in this. I mean, its only rotation,
यार आर्सेनल की तो क्या ही बात
only
करें.
rotation has been the Man U and
uh,
Tottenham. That either one of those gets into Champions League. Arsenal has been 5 years now, and if I'm right.
more. Maybe I'm not sure, man. At this point, yesterday I was just hoping that see Arsenal won. Arsenal played pretty well, and Pepe, come on, Pepe, best winger in London. Arsenal played pretty well. I was hoping that Tottenham would drop points so that we would finish above them for the first time
I
in
have
some
a
5 6
question.
years, but
You
that didn't happen.
you
Yeah,
do realize that Son is in London only, so just to give context, how are you claiming Pepe is the best?
dude, it doesn't matter. Pepe is better than every winger in the Premier League. Pepe is the best of all time. Okay, he scored 2 goals in each of the last 2 games. He's the greatest of all time. Anyway, jokes aside, yeah, the season was overall pretty disappointing for Arsenal. We were expecting a lot more,
But you still end up
and
finish eighth.
hopefully, at one point, we were tipped for relegation. Obviously, that was not realistic at all. But
But
even then,
I so
we have
wanted it to
performed
happen.
pretty well. Since Christmas, Arsenal I think are the third best team in the league based on form. So yeah, it's a good recovery. Still not at all satisfactory, but hopefully we can make some shrewd signings in the summer, clear out some of the deadwood, and do better next season. Hopefully, we can qualify for at least the Europa League. Maybe if things go our way, then Champions League. But yeah, so Arsenal not great. Apart from that, again there was nothing out of the ordinary in the Premier League. No real unexpected results. Sheffield won on the last day. I guess that's a good way to get relegated. Uh, of course, there was one thing just before we move on to the next league. In the championship, Swansea beat Barnsley, and I think, yeah, Brentford beat Bournemouth, if I'm not wrong. So now we have a championship playoff final of Brentford versus Swansea. at least we have a new team coming up to the Premier League. People were thinking that maybe it'll be the same three teams that went down last year who'd be coming back up, but no, we will have one new team. Let's see what happens in the
But
playoff final.
basically the biggest story of this last game week, one of the biggest story was uh, Aguero going out on a high.
Aguero, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
Aguero scoring, like he was on the bench, and then around 70th minute he was brought on, and then he came on to score 2 goals. I was not expecting even a one, to be very honest, and he scored 2 goals, and he broke the Rooney's record, and all these things. And another stat has come out that this is the first time he has scored 2 goals as a sub since his debut. So it's like full, cycle coming to an end. This whole romanticized feeling of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great fun.
Well, so the first time I started, so Aguero was the big signing of the summer in the year that I started following football, or at least what I can remember. So I kind of feel a bit connected to him, and it's very nice to see him go out on such a high. I was hoping he'd break this record. He's a proper legend of the Premier League and of Manchester City, and I feel really happy for him. And he's going to Barca, which is kind of surprising, especially considering they let Luis Suarez go last season, and then now they're signing a replacement who is just as old. I think he's about the same age, so it's weird, but yeah, good for Aguero.
Yeah, and another big departure that might happen is Harry Kane leaving Spurs.
Yeah,
I mean, as an Arsenal
yeah,
fans, you have been dancing right now.
yeah. Well, apart from Arsenal fan aside, I mean, because he's probably still going to stay in the Premier League, so it's not great.
But at least it's not in
Whatever.
Spurs. So yeah, Spurs will not finish above you guys without
Yeah.
him.
So yeah, you saw him. He was pretty emotional, and I think all signs indicate that he will be
And
leaving.
also there's the
Where
interview to
he'll go
Gary
now, that's
Neville.
a good big question. Yeah.
I mean, that was a
Uh,
big blockbuster kind of interview. If you have not seen it, it's the new
yeah. Do check it out. Yeah.
overlap thing by Sky Sports with Gary Neville, and did it on Golf Course. So pretty much Gareth Bale interview is coming in a week or two, in my opinion, if it's going to happen on a golf course. So that happened, and he was pretty explicit that he doesn't want to go into a foreign country. He wants to stay in the Premier League just because he desperately wants to break that Rooney record, also
Shearer record.
the
Yeah.
Shearer record. Rooney for the national team, which will
Mhm.
happen, he can do it anywhere, but the Shearer record, he is desperately after that. So if he wants that, he has to stay in the Premier League. And other thing was, he said that he wants, he thinks De Bruyne is a better midfielder a striker can have. So all this, hints, name dropping, and is going on, full tactical mindset he's doing. So
The City seem to be the front runners in the race for Harry Kane, but I think there have been rumors of United and surprisingly Chelsea as well.
because
I don't think
Chelsea,
Chelsea is likely to happen.
but
Uh,
Chelsea thing is their London clubs is very unlikely, but they do need a
yeah,
striker
yeah,
of
that's what
his
I was saying.
quality.
Yeah. Uh, and look, man, I think they should stick with Timo Werner. I think he's a fantastic player. I think they should
I
stick with
mean,
him. Obviously,
if
Kane
they
is
can
better,
land Harry Kane, I
but
think it's a better option.
don't you think they have like different positions where they have more urgency? I mean, they need a player more.
I mean,
For example, centre back.
I don't. Do you really think Chelsea makes a transfer decision like that? I mean, they buy the player they want to buy. It doesn't mean that it's fitting
Yeah.
team. I mean, last year they brought in Hakim Ziyech. Did they really needed a right wing when they had Cho, or they really needed what do we say? Some left winger they brought in. I am forgetting his name. Other way they had kind of Pulisic and Mason Mount and all. They still brought in more
No, that's
players.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
So
So maybe see that's why Chelsea is still in the picture.
yeah,
Otherwise, selling to a
I'm
rival club.
right now. Kai Havertz. Do you really think Kai Havertz was necessary
Yeah,
when they had Mason Mount?
but nobody's really necessary, is it? But anyway, my point is, uh, yeah, the reason why Chelsea can't be ruled out at any point is because they're Chelsea, man. They
And
just buy
also
whoever they
they
want.
have them.
But
They have the money.
yeah, but more likely that he'll go to Man City or United. I think there are actually really strong rumors of City, and you know what, I wouldn't mind that. Better than United at least. But Harry Kane, he's had such a wonderful season. I think you told me yesterday that he's the first player in a long time, or if ever in the Premier League era, to finish as the top scorer and top assist
No,
provider.
not ever.
So that's
He's the third player, but in a long time. The first is Andy
oh,
Cole.
okay,
Andy Cole, and second, I'm skipping right now. Hasselblad,
okay.
something like that.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Okay,
Yeah, Hasselblad.
yeah,
So yeah, he's the third, but
yeah,
it's been quite some time. So
yeah.
it's been
So a fantastic record. A fantastic player. I really love him. But overall, I'm happy that he's moving.
yeah. I mean, how long will that guy stay at this club, man? I mean, it has been 4 years since he said in an interview that if he doesn't win a major trophy in 3 years from that point, he will be very disappointed. And it has been 4 years from that point. And he has been pretty much very great in that period. He won the World Cup Golden Boot in that period, and he took the team to Champions League final. Not took the team, okay. Lucas Moura did more part in that, but still he went for full title race with Leicester, which they blew up. Next year they had a full title race with Chelsea, which again they blew up.
With the Leicester one, I mean, were they okay? Fine, you know what?
They were the
Never mind.
number second team for pretty much the entire season until they exploded in the last three. Like
Were they, dude? Arsenal were top of the table on New
I'm
Year, so
dude, it's the same way Man U was top of table this year at New Year. Nobody remembers that point because they were just a fluke kind of thing. Stop with
whatever.
the Arsenal
Point is,
propaganda.
they weren't second for anyway. You know what? This
For the
is
main
irrelevant.
for the main run in, they were the second at the end until
Okay,
they literally
so
blew up in the last 3 game weeks.
yeah.
So don't everybody knows it was Tottenham who blew it up, and then next season,
No, I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying that at all.
and then at the second season, next season also they blew up with the Chelsea thing. They were again in Papa running with Chelsea and then blew up, and right now team is in full depreciation of value right now. The Ericsson has left and Vertonghen has left. Dele Alli is nowhere near the level he was. Only saving grace is the fact Son is there, and Son is as good as he ever been. So only saving grace is that.
Yeah.
Others, the whole team need a rebuild. So do you really think a player who has so much potential, and he has himself said that he wants to be at Ronaldo Messi level? He wants to score that 50, 60 goal kind of barrier. So that's not going to happen at Spurs, man. That's definitely not going to happen at Spurs. If he really wants to score the 50, 60 kind of goals, and be talked in the like Lewandowski is right now, the guy who has
Yeah.
really made his way to that top level, is definitely not going to happen at Spurs. He
Yeah. So
has to
it's
move
not
on.
going to happen at Spurs. So yeah, most likely he will move on.
Yeah. Moving on to the next league. Which league you have for us, Tejume?
Well, I was actually thinking we can talk about La Liga next.
Yeah.
We touched upon La Liga in one of our previous podcasts, if I'm not wrong, and we talked about it on Twitter Spaces. Again, please follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. We talked about it on Twitter. It was a very interesting discussion. And of course, as we know, Atletico Madrid won the league. They were trailing at one point in time, and Real Madrid fans, such as yourself, had a lot of hope. But at the end, they pulled back. They got their 2 goals, and Ronaldo Nazario's Valladolid could not really do much to stop them.
And
So
got relegated.
Atletico did very well. They won the title for the second time under Diego Simeone, again, absolute legend. And I guess the main story is just that Luis Suarez, who was shipped out of Barca, called, I mean, he was persona non grata in the summer. And now he's done so well for Atletico, maybe even won them the league. You could say that he's been the most instrumental player in their team.
Yeah, definitely. If you
Uh,
remove Suarez from the Atletico side, they are not winning the league. By no chance they're winning the league because his goal has been so
yeah,
instrumental.
21 goals, man. 21 goals,
No,
not a
it's
joke.
not about just a goal. It's about the crucialness of that goals.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
the fact that I mean, you have to think of this way that the two best players for Atletico this season has been Suarez and Llorente. Both of those players are
Hmm.
the players who have been, literally thrown out of their clubs, Real Madrid and Barca. So basically, it's not only about Barca giving them the league; it's about Real also giving them the league. Because
Yeah,
Llorente
yeah.
before this season never scored more than 3 goals in his entire La Liga career.
He was more of a central midfielder, even defensive
He
midfielder.
was a
He
CDM.
his
He was not even a
transformation.
CM.
Yeah, exactly,
He was
exactly,
exactly a
exactly.
CDM. He was a Casino
So
deputy.
Simeone's done it again, man. Simeone's done it again. What a
I
legend.
mean, I don't know, man, but he has done
Uh,
it. But man, Llorente was never this good. Never. How the hell did that? I mean, it's been and on the final day, when Weldoid scored the goal, and we were still 0-0 at that point. And the hope that arises from inside till 2-3 minutes later, Real scored. I mean, and then the real reason La Liga Real bottled it, I think if they won the match, that's pretty fair. But if they had scored in the earliest stages of the match, because as you were seeing throughout the match, the news was traveling. Players on the bench were consistently checking on the scores from there, what's happening there. They were consistently telling the manager what's happening. So news was definitely traveling, no doubts about that. It's not like they were focusing on their own matches. So if they had scored, Real had scored from their own matches, and Atletico, as you say, went behind, it would have been such a pressure Coco situation for Atletico. I think they might have crumbled it.
yeah,
But the fact that the moment
maybe.
they went behind in a minute to two, we also went behind, and the situation remained the same till the halftime. It gave Atletico breathing space. They were like, okay, we can still score a goal or two, and Real is not coming back because it's Villarreal, so it's very difficult to score against them, especially for Real, who can't score against anybody nowadays. So
Yeah.
they gave them this
No,
breathing,
I completely agree. I completely agree. It
and
does play a big part, and yeah.
yeah, so they were
Go
able
ahead.
to come back. They were able to put their nerves down, and you know second half, you saw Atletico, which were more composed in the back. First half, they were absolutely great till the first goal went in against the run of play, and then Atletico was completely closed.
I'm not so sure about that. I think Atletico were decent, but their finishing was below par in the
Dude,
first half. I think they actually could have had a couple of goals
that was as good
before
as Atletico is
Valladolid's
going to
first
play.
goal. So I don't think so. I disagree.
Dude, we have
But
not seen Atletico play the entire season. That's as good as Atletico plays.
no. I'm sorry. That's just not true. I have seen Atletico play, and I think they can do better. You were watching the Real match. I was watching the Atletico match, so I can tell you they were doing pretty well. But I'm sorry, they were not doing pretty well. My point is, I do agree with you. If Real Madrid had done a bit better, if they had scored the goal and built a bit more pressure on Atletico, then things could be very different right now. Maybe we would have a different champion.
Yeah,
But
and other thing was that how Real biggest problem as a Real fan to watching that match for pretty much the entire match was there was no intent to win this match from anyone. Apart from Benzema and Modric, who ultimately scored the goals, there was no intent. I mean, it was not even like the title is on the line. It was like, yeah, we are Barca who are pretty much out of the race. So, okay, just, pass the ball around. I mean, there was
yeah,
nothing happening, and the two games goal came in after the 87th minute when Atletico pretty much wrapped the league up. They had the lead, they were in cruise control mode kind of thing. I know there was a couple of two chances by Valverde which could have gone our way, then it would be a pure Aguero moment. But yeah, Modric scored in the 90 plus 2 minutes, so it was our Modric moment, you can say, like Aguero, like Martin Tyler said it. But
Valladolid had a couple of chances near the end of the game. If they had scored, then maybe again things could be different
yeah, but
because Real had the advantage on head-to-head, right?
yeah, sure, they won the first match, they drew the second match, so yeah, they had the advantage. So
Yeah.
Real right now has a very big question to ask themselves. Where do we go from there? Because manager is on the verge of the leaving. I'm not sure he has left by now. He's not left by now, but he will in a couple of coming days. And this season, the attack has been poor from the last season, which is surprising because last season itself was a rock bottom. We have somehow able to find a place below rock bottom. So, and still somehow,
Yeah.
how the hell? I mean, if you look at the squad on paper and you see them perform, you will can't convince anyone in the world that this squad went to Champions League semi-final. And
It was a miracle that they reached that far, man. They should have been knocked out in the group stages. And Zidane just said, "Tomorrow's the final. Tomorrow's the final. हर दिन
also,
tomorrow's the
it's
final
a
करके
miracle that we
reach the
finished
semi-final."
almost 4-5 points above Barca, considering that Barca had just 21-24 games run, which in that period they were just unplayable in La Liga. And
Yeah.
somehow, I mean, how the hell this team was able to beat Inter Milan, Atlanta, and Liverpool is beyond me. I mean, Inter Milan literally won the league, and we were still able to defeat them. It's just a miracle, dude. I mean, this team, it's not a miracle we are exaggerating here. They played well, they had the spirit, and this 30-year-old midfield is clearly pulling the team way more than it should. And defense line has is complete shambles in injuries, but dude, attack is so broken. And let's see what's happening in transfer window. But as of now, Barca also have to rethink. Like reporters say that they believe they were the one who lost the league, which is quite true because Atletico exploded, and Barca was not able to capitalize, especially the last 4 or 5 matches. I mean, how the hell did lost Osasuna? Like Real also lost the league because they drew to Sevilla, but drawing to Sevilla makes sense. How the hell they lost to Osasuna? And then in the last
I have
five,
no answer for you.
yeah, in the last 5 or 6 matches, they only won twice, man. If you're like going for title, how the hell you can that kind of form and expect to things to happen? So I don't know. See what will happen. Either Messi will stay or not. Aguero is coming in, as Fabrizio Romano has said recently. Even Aguero, Pep mentioned that in his post-match interview that he is pretty much going to Barca only. So Memphis Depay has also confirmed that he is in contacts. Gini Wijnaldum has confirmed that he's leaving Liverpool on a free transfer.
I think there are stronger rumors for Wijnaldum to Bayern than to Barca.
See, I am not saying Wijnaldum is coming to Barca. I am saying Wijnaldum is leaving and Barca had interest in him.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that there have been strong reports of Wijnaldum to
I don't
Bayern.
know. So, okay, that's might be the case.
Yeah.
But a couple of good Juventus like free transfers coming in, which really can improve the team. The defense has been pretty okay with the Mengueza coming in, and
Ronald Araujo, he's been pretty well,
and
doing pretty well.
Frankie De Jong has really stepped up this season from last season.
Yeah.
Like last season, he was not able to compete, but this season he has shown his true quality. The quality we saw him at Ajax. So biggest question still is like whether Messi will stay or not, and if they will get a new manager in. I mean, with the way Laporta was talking, I am not sure whether that will happen or not. So let's moving on to the League One. In my opinion.
Well, this was again a very interesting story, and you know what? It was a very heartwarming one. You always like to see the underdogs win, and after 10 years, Lille have won the league for the first time. So the last time Lille won the league, they had the likes of Gervinho and Hazard, I think Johan Kabay. So yeah, it's a very nice story to see. Of course, there are a couple of something that I don't like. Nicolas Pepe and Gabriel both left Lille to come to Arsenal, and
For
know where
95
Arsenal
million
is, and now you
combined,
know
I
where
guess.
Lille is. Yeah, but yeah, good for Lille, and they have a fantastic team. I think there are a lot of parallels to draw to the Monaco side, which won the league. And similarly, I think this team is going to be picked apart
But
because
there's a
they have some
difference, dude.
fantastic young players. Yeah, go ahead.
Monaco still had just 2 or 3 really good star quality kind of players. I don't see that kind of players at Lille right now. Maybe Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez has again pulled back his career from that mud. But apart from that,
I disagree, man. I disagree. There are a lot of really good players. You have Mike Magnan in goal. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but he has been so good. People don't even talk about him. He has 21 clean sheets, man. 21 clean sheets. Mike Magnan, he's been fantastic. Sven Botman, excellent. Jonathan Icone, great player. Burak Yilmaz, he was considered finished. People are saying that there is no chance that he's going to perform. He's done well. So they have a good core of players. a good core of young players. I'm not saying that the players are as good as the Monaco team. Of course, that team was on another level. They had Fabinho, uh,
Bernardo Silva,
Mbappe, Bernardo,
uh,
Lemar. Lemar, I know Lemar. People have been going after him because he hadn't done well last season, but this season even
Benjamin
Lemar did
Mendy, they
pretty well
also
for
had
Atletico. Benjamin Mendy, they had a lot of good players. So
Lukaku.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying this Lille team is as good as that one. I don't think so. But still, this Lille team is really good. Don't underestimate them
Yeah,
at all.
see, they won
And
the league. They have to be good. There's no doubts about that. If they are able to defeat PSG to the league, they
oh,
have to
I
be.
forgot one more player, Jonathan David. What a player, man! What a player, and what a season he had. Yeah, they have what they have 5 players aged 22 or younger who made at least 20 appearances. So they have a great team, and unfortunately for them, I think that in the summer the team is going to be picked apart. Sven
Yes,
Botman, there were
that's
links of him to Liverpool in January when they were looking for a centre back.
okay.
Of course, that didn't end up happening. But I think in the summer, some top teams should go for him. He's an excellent player and he deserves to play. I think he could be the next Wesley Fofana.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
some big praise coming considering how Fofana has performed this season. So,
yeah. But I do believe it. And of course, Boubakary Somare is going to Leicester. It's
okay,
pretty much already confirmed.
okay,
Fabrizio Romano is, I think, confirmed pretty much.
okay.
So,
So, what
yeah.
do you make out of the explosion that happened at PSG? I mean, how the hell Pochettino bottled it with PSG
Well,
also?
it's yeah, it's an implosion more than explosion, I would say. And I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think at any point were they were you know completely far clear. At one point, I think Lyon were in the league, and then of course Lille were there. We thought that maybe since Lille drew last weekend, we thought that maybe if they bottle it again on the final day, then maybe PSG would come in and take the win.
But it
But
was a very
credit
comfortable
to
2
Lille.
0 win for Lille.
Yep. So I don't know, man, and I think PSG fans are not going to be happy with Pochettino, and even the owners, PSG fans are going to be mad. Pochettino, as you said, you can take the man out of Spurs, you can't take the Spurs out of the man.
Yeah, dude, Bale won trophies. It's not about every player can perform. Even Kerian Trippier won the league with like. I
You
mean,
know what? Actually, you're right. Actually, because if anything, we've seen that you can take the man out of Spurs, and that man will win any trophy. You have Eriksen, Trippier, even Pochettino won trophies, man. He didn't
yeah.
win the league, but he won trophies. So
So it's up to Harry
yeah,
Kane now that he knows what he has to
yeah,
do. Has he the willpower to fight Daniel Levy to leave? Because that's going to be a
yeah.
whole another ball game. But
So
yeah,
yeah, PSG. I mean, I think actually things could have been very different if PSG were in the Champions League final. If they were in the Champions League final and they went on to win it, then
all
I don't think
they
any fan would care about the everything would be forgiven. Nobody would care
everything.
about the
I
league.
mean, he would have a statue outside the stadium, at least on some
Yeah.
form of
So
Qatar currency also.
now PSG, they're most likely to lose Kylian Mbappe. They're not going to get Harry Kane. So it'll be interesting to see who they get
So
to
you
replace
believe in Mbappe
Mbappe.
to Real Madrid rumors?
I, I do. I do. I think it's going to
Oh
happen.
my God!
Mbappe is going
Finally,
to be. He's going to, dude. He's going to be sick of not winning Champions League with PSG. We know he's going to go to Madrid at some point. It's not a question of if, but when. And I think the when is this summer. He's going to go to Madrid.
oh
I think
my
so.
God! Finally, this is happening. Okay, okay. From our own
Well,
Fabrizio in the
I'm
house.
hardly a credible source, but yeah, in my
Here we
opinion, it's
go.
it's going to
Here we
happen.
go, guys. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
here we go.
Okay, let's moving on to
Yeah, so
Bundesliga.
yeah.
And
So just one thing before we do,
okay,
I'm really not sure who PSG can get in to replace him.
Messi.
I can't think of anyone. Messi, maybe, but I don't think he's going to move.
Ronaldo wants to leave
Actually, I think he
Juventus,
might. Okay, that's a good option. But I think there are more rumors of Ronaldo to United than
but
of
United
Ronaldo to
are, as you
PSG.
said, United are after Harry Kane. How can they afford both?
True, that's true. So a lot of these transfers are tied to each other depending on what happens to Harry Kane, Ronaldo, Mbappe. We'll see what happens. This is going to be so much fun, man. The transfer window is
I
going to
mean,
be so
it's
much fun.
going to be like
Anyway, let's move on to
my other
the
theory is it's
Bundesliga.
going to be like Real buys Mbappe for 120 or something. That money is used to bring in Kane. That money, with that money,
Uh,
Spurs will again buy some 7-8 players, from which none of will, not even a single player will be good enough for a team.
okay, to be fair, Christian Eriksen was
Okay,
half decent. Lamela is okay, but I get your point. And yeah, you know what? I hope it's a Bale 2.0. But I think we
because
already
Kane is
established
Bill
that
only.
Kane is not. I think we already established that Kane is not leaving
We see
England.
he's not
So
leaving, but if he's getting good amount of money, Pochettino tries to convince him, change his mind.
maybe, yeah, the Posh factor is a big one there.
Post
Yeah.
fact is big one, na? I mean, also the fact that if not a credible, uh, the amount of money, because it's see, with the type of contract Kane signed with Daniel Levy, it's very difficult to leave, man. And it's not going to be like
Yeah.
Man City or Man U is going to go after him after some 150 kind of bid. Also, the fact that Daniel Levy has made it clear that he will not sell to English club. If he sells Kane, he wants it out of the league. So it's both
Hmm.
factors coming. It's not like
Yeah,
Kane,
it's
what Kane
possible.
wants,
It's
it's
possible.
going to happen. So, and that way only PSG can actually give that kind of money with the Mbappe money coming in if that happens. Also, the Poch factor is there. Also, a
Yeah,
guaranteed league title kind of thing, pretty much for Kane.
pretty much. Yeah.
So let's see the multiple factors going in. But yeah, moving on to Bundesliga, and there's no such big news here. I mean, Bayern won the league.
I
It's
mean, not in particular in the league
shocking
title
news.
or even there is some sad news. Werder Bremen are going down to the second division after 41 years. So they lost on the final day to Gladbach, and so that's why I think they were in the playoff spot, in the relegation playoff spot, but since they lost, and the team below them, I'm not sure who the team was, but that team won. So now Werder Bremen are going down for sure, and it's really sad because you see two giants of the German game in Werder Bremen and Schalke getting relegated in the same season. Sad to see, especially with Schalke. I know that there isn't that. We've known about Schalke for a long time, but again, it's just really sad to see what COVID has done to these historical clubs.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
saw Hamburg going down a few years ago for the first time, and now for the first time in 41 years, we're seeing Werder Bremen go down. Only the second time in their history. Again, Werder Bremen have some excellent players on their books who I think will all move away this season. The two main ones being Josh Sargent and Milo Rashica. So we'll see what happens to them. But yeah, there are a few other stories in the Bundesliga. For example, and the main one being Lewandowski has broken Gerd Muller's record of 40 league goals. He scored his 41st league goal in added time of the final game of the season. What a story, man! You love
I
to see
mean,
it.
also you have to, with all this thing, and also the Allison scoring that last minute goal. One thing that comes to my mind is the fact that domination of a human being is a very unappreciated kind of aspect of the game. I
Hmm.
mean, him
Yeah,
scoring in the last minute for it's pure determination. It's not just some build-up play that's happening, or some cross came in. It's pure determination that he wants to score. He
yeah,
wants to be there, and he broke it. Same way Aguero thing also. Like Aguero came on, he wanted to
absolutely.
score a goal. Same way Alisson, that he came up, he wanted to score a goal. He did it. So it's like this human aspect of the game nowadays with all these stats flying around, XG, XA, and all this, ridiculous stats we have. Then this all this overthinking tactics of like Pep and then so flying fullbacks here and there, here and there. This human element has been, bit lost from the narrative that a human can achieve what he wants to. I mean, see, we are like desensitized with these kind of numbers by Ronaldo, Messi. I mean, scoring 50, 48, 46, 44 kind of goals for almost 5, 6 seasons, like that 2010 to 2015,
Yeah.
16 era when both of them were at absolutely peak. They both are still top scorer of their respective leagues this season. But that time, I mean, losing on the Golden Boot after scoring 48 goals in the league is unthinkable. And
Yeah.
then same way,
Dude, those guys are just not normal. It is can't even describe it. And yeah, we've become so desensitized to it all that Lewandowski scoring 41 goals is
it's kind of a reminder for us that okay, this is the big deal.
yeah,
Because since Ronaldo
yeah,
Messi's
yeah,
numbers have become a bit more conservative, they're still very high compared to others, but it has come from 50, 60 to the more 30 at max 40 kind of figures. I mean, Ronaldo is not able to
yeah,
break the 40 figure mark since he come on to Juventus. His max he has scored is 37. First season he has
yeah,
28, second season 37, this season is 35. That amount of
yeah,
goal he used to score in the league itself. Now it's total goal tally. Even Messi, he finished some 30 goals in the league, so I am guessing 37 in the entire. Not even he's also not breaking the 40 goal mark in the entire season. So him scoring 41 goals in the league, apart from the 5-6 goals he has scored in the Champions League, it's a reminder that it takes something seriously special, and it happens once or twice in a great player's career. It's not a deal of like
yeah.
5-6 years continue doing. So I mean, but great for him, man. And
And of course, there are a few other Bayern legends who have
yeah,
left the club. David Alaba is going to move to Real Madrid pretty much for sure. Only the official announcement is left for all practical purposes. Jerome Boateng is going to leave, and Boateng, I think he has revived his career, and I think he still has a couple of good seasons in him at least. So we'll see where he goes. And of course, Uh, Javi Martinez kind of like the silent warrior who did so much for the club, but is very often overlooked.
I think it's just the fact
Again, a
that he was
fantastic player.
the CDM, and it's kind of the always the
But no,
stories with the
man, because
CDM.
see, even CDMs at Bayern, for example, Kimmich or Lahm, they aren't. I mean, yeah, you can say that they're underrated, but at least people recognize their importance. For Javi Martinez, a lot of people just think of him as some, you know, कोई ऐसे तैसे का बंदा. He is not. He is a serious player. He's a very good player, and a great. At one point, he was a record signing of Bayern Munich. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
So three legends retiring. Best of luck to them.
not
And
retiring, leaving.
I think you'll be happy to. Oh my bad. I'm so sorry. Leaving the club. Uh, and I think you'll be happy to see David Alaba at Madrid next season. No?
Because his signing is
Well, I would take him at Arsenal.
no. It's not about David Alaba is a bad player, but it's the fact that his signing is a clear indication that either Varane or Ramos is leaving,
Okay,
which I don't
that's
want.
true.
So that's the
Of course, of course.
I want Varane because
Yeah.
he's younger and, in my opinion, better. Which is quite a popular opinion. I mean, Varane. If you're talking about strictly centre back purposes, Varane is better. You can say that David Alaba is about versatile. He's full back. He's midfielder, that kind of way. And then
Yeah,
Ramos.
but Alaba has only been playing at centre back for a season and a half,
That's what I'm saying.
not more than
That's
that.
why
So
Varane is better centre back than him. And
yeah, no arguments here. No arguments here.
Ramos is Ramos for Real Madrid. So
Ramos is Ramos. Yeah.
Ramos doesn't need no introductions. Ramos is Ramos. So if he's leaving, so it's kind of a pain. So if he was coming with nobody else leaving, I wouldn't so excited that we might play three at the back with this kind of player, or he might be the Lucas Vasquez type of signing who will play everywhere. So, but now he's coming as a proper centre back in the team. It's kind of a bit okay. Life goes on. Nothing. Now moving to the last league in talking point, Serie A, and again,
So we saw Leicester being pulled off by a Serie A team too. Napoli pulled off a Leicester. We were expecting that if Juventus were to get into the Champions League, it would be at the expense of Milan, who had Atlanta on the last day. But Milan won, Juventus won, and Napoli drew. So Napoli are out of the Champions League. They're into the Europa League, and both Juventus and Milan are in the Champions League.
yeah, I mean Napoli. I was seeing the match because it was deadline day, so I have to see pretty much every match there. Uh, First of all, Napoli, I mean, they scored on some 61 minute with the help of a Victor Osimhen assist,
First
and
man,
they were
yeah,
going through, so it was a full. And then from 70th minute they considered a goal, and after that they were not able to recover. I mean, the team went into shell shock only.
Yeah.
Gutasu was like, I'm sorry for mispronunciation, but he was like shouting like anybody in the, as he does usually. His whole tactic shout only, scare and shout. So he was shouting.
Well, that was his playing style too. So
Yes, sorry for the shaky cam. Uh, so that we was doing, but Napoli was not able to come back. I mean, they were playing a very low placed team in the league right now, and they're still not able to. So yeah, they bottled it, and Atlanta never showed up against Milan. This was no competition there. Milan was also never came
yeah.
up to second gear. It was like okay, pretty much straightforward match. I mean, there were some hiccups here and there, and at one point it looked like Atlanta could score a goal, and Juventus had some hope. But yeah, it was not such a big deal as we thought that Juventus might go out. But I personally like this result because I wanted AC Milan in the Champions League, because
It's
this
good to see them, man. Good to
whole
see them
this
back in the
vibe of
Champions League.
Inter AC and Juventus in the Champions League. It's like proper Serie all over again. Also, I wanted to see
Yeah.
Zlatan back in the Champions League. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
the Lion is back.
But unfortunately, again coming back to Gattuso. Gattuso has been sacked.
Yeah.
Don't know where he'll go. I'm not sure that I don't know if he has an opportunity at a big club. Even in Serie A, we could have seen him at Roma, but again, Roma hired Jose, so no vacancy for him there. There were talks of him going to Juventus at one point, but
But
again, that's probably not going to happen
after
now.
this year,
Yeah, no
Juventus is
chance,
going
no
to
chance.
play very safe if this sack. What do you say?
Pirlo,
Perlo.
yeah.
So they're going to play pretty
So
safe. It's not going to come
yeah,
there.
so we'll see where Gattuso goes, but I feel bad for him, man, and I liked him as a player, so feel bad for
I
him. But
never saw him as a player, so can't really say. The whole thing I know about him is that he shouts and he's scary. That's it. That's the whole Kudoso image
well,
in my mind.
yeah.
So yeah, but Ronaldo. I mean, how the hell Perlo bench Ronaldo is blew my mind, and he never brought Ronaldo on. He never brought Ronaldo on.
I don't understand. Was this some kind of power move? That I'm the boss here. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It makes no
Power
sense.
move.
But
Last day, when
pa-
the entire thing was on the line, is not a good time to do a power move.
yeah.
I think
But
it was
well,
more.
Ronaldo posted something after the match, which would probably make the Juventus fans feel a bit better.
No, he posted up a pic of him
He
doing this silence thing. That's not a good
is
omen.
okay.
Yeah,
I thought that he posted something saying "Fino alla fine" and that's all.
that he did, but that was
Okay.
caption. The photo was this only.
Oh, okay.
It was two photos. One for the main pic was this one. The second we swipe right is the team photo.
Oh, okay.
So, but the first
So,
one was
yeah, but
this black and white whole Dark Knight Rises kind of vibes thing. Ronaldo going this to the screen, and
so as I said last week, I don't think he will stay. I said that last week too, that even if they qualify for the Champions League, I think he'll leave, and I still stand by that. They have qualified for the Champions League, but I think he's going to leave.
so but yeah, he has been the first Juventus player to win the what do you say top scorer since 2007-8. I mean, Juventus
Since
has.
Del Piero,
I mean,
yeah.
Juventus has been on a roll since then in the league, and it's amazing that they never had a top scorer. I mean, they won 9 leagues, and even it took the third season for Ronaldo. He finished second twice.
Yeah, dude. So I think when Ronaldo came in, so the season before that, I think it was Immobile who said something like, "I'm glad I won the Golden Boot because now that Ronaldo's in the league, I have no chance."
Yeah,
And
and
Ronaldo just didn't win for 2 seasons.
yeah, I mean, when the first season, Quadisla, I'm still not sure how he pronounce your name, but out of nowhere in his late
Quagliarella, yeah,
30s, he scored some
yeah.
goals, 28 goals, and then Immobile scored 36 goals.
And that too for what team? For Sampdoria.
Yeah, Sampdoria. So I mean, it has been just unlucky till now because he ended second
Yeah.
twice. But in his most likely his final Juventus season, he's finally able to go the entire thing and pip Lukaku for the Golden Boot by a good 5 goal margin, considering he didn't play the last match. which he should have.
Mhm.
That he might have the 30 goal season, but he stuck at 29. So whatever. But I mean, if you, it's good that Morata played good in that match. Dybala was also good, and Chiesa. I mean, that kid has something, man. Chiesa has something. I mean,
Yeah,
if you see
I
the
think he's everything that we expected Bernardeschi to be,
and better,
and better. I mean, see, at one point Bernardeschi was seen. They have the same story. They both came from Fiorentina. They're both the star man in the team. Both went to Juventus, and Bernardeschi just never showed up. But Chiesa has done very well in his first
yeah.
season, so
Also,
hopefully he
also
can
the
continue.
lineup was very aggressive. They had Kulusevski in the lineup. They had Chiesa. They had Morata. They had Weston
Well,
McKennie.
they needed to win for.
I mean, if we are going to
And if
that
you're leaving out
aggressive,
Ronaldo, you better make your team. If you're leaving out Ronaldo, you better make your lineup aggressive.
I mean, it didn't make sense, but Juventus played very good actually. The Morata Dybala link was something to behold of. Maybe it's for signs to come that this is going.
Maybe.
That's the front three of Dybala, Chiesa, and Morata is what's going to take them back to summit. I don't think Morata can fight Lukaku in my opinion. There's a whole
And you know what? I think actually once Ronaldo leaves, maybe Dybala could have a Benzema moment where he just picks up the pace and just like Benzema recovers his career and starts being the top goal scorer in the
maybe
league.
because
It's unlikely, but
Benzema
possible.
also had 5 league goals in his last campaign with Ronaldo,
Exactly.
and since then he has
Exactly.
not dropped below 20 goals. So from
Yeah,
being
this season
five
we talk
to
that the talks of Ballon d'Or. So yeah, you can just see the level
yeah,
that he's
see if
improved
this
to.
season he win the Euros, he's definitely getting the Ballon d'Or.
100%, no doubts about it.
He's definitely getting the Ballon d'Or. So there's no doubts about that. And to think Benzema getting the Ballon d'Or some 2-3 seasons back is the
Unthinkable,
most
man. It was
unthinkable
unthinkable.
shit. I had better chance of Bale winning the Ballon d'Or than Benzema. It's not even a joke at this point. Bale had scored then 2 goals in the final. So it was quite
Yeah.
possible. But Benzema after his
Yeah.
5 goal season is just what a comeback.
So coming back to Syria, maybe Dybala could resurrect his career and start be the main man for Juventus
Once again,
once again. Yeah,
since so yeah, if Ronaldo's leaving, I really want him to go back to Man U.
it would be nice, but I don't
I
want him
mean,
back in the Premier League.
if he comes up against Gabriel and Birdliner, he's going to kill them.
Come on, man. Gabriel is decent. At least. Okay, fine. Rob Holding.
Rob Holding. What is Rob Holding going to do against Ronaldo? Even this 36-year beaten down Ronaldo is going to kill. And do you think he's going to be that firepower, that 20 goal a season striker, that is going to complete the 10-point gap, 10-12 point gap that Man U has to City right now? Is he
I
going to
think
be that guy?
I think the problem with Man U is not goals. We've seen that they've scored plenty of goals this season. Of course, the addition of Ronaldo is only going to improve them.
But this
But
goals
I
will be
think they
still be
need a
less.
defensive midfielder first.
No, but the
They
thing
need a
is,
defensive midfielder first.
we agree. We have across the board we agree that the first party should be Stadium. But you have to see the fact that first of all, this could 10 less goals than City in the league. Just to get this out of the way. Second, even after that, 9 of those came in single match.
Yeah.
So you understand me? So if you consider that freak result didn't happen, there might have been almost 15-16 goals less of City. And that's the City we're talking about, which didn't play a striker in the entire season. So if we had Harry
I think it has a lot to do with City's good form. And come on, man, they didn't play a striker, but we didn't expect Gundogan to score some 13, 14 goals in the
10,
league.
11, 12 kind of goals. And see,
Okay,
that
whatever it
also
is.
happened,
So
but that also happened in 3 month break. It doesn't happen. It never happened at the game 22. Game 24, 24,
So
it
yeah,
was.
I definitely think that Ronaldo's inclusion in the squad could uh, will improve them, no doubt. Will take them improve their goals. And see, because Cavani started firing in the last end of the season, but before that, Martial was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
Cavani
obviously.
was just all right. So yeah, they had a problem at centre forward position, and I don't think Cavani is going to be able to perform for the whole season next season. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo's inclusion will definitely be a big boost to them. I actually still think Ronaldo, and okay, at this point it's not even arguable. Ronaldo will score 20 goals in the Premier League at least if he signs for Man United next season. There's no doubt about that. So he will improve the squad, but I don't know, man. I don't think Kane and Ronaldo can play together. So if they're going for Kane,
This whole
then
scenario is
Ronaldo
considering
doesn't
that
make
Kane
sense.
doesn't end up at Man U. If he ends up at Man U, Ronaldo is going to PSG.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because there's no way they're going to play Ronaldo and Kane. Kane will become the next Dybala.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. This whole thing will be the Bruno connection with Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think you were the one who told me that Man United will evaluate whether or not they should sign Ronaldo based on their Portugal's performance in the Euros and how well Bruno is able to connect with Cristiano.
That was the secondary thing after what happens with Harry Kane. First part is still Harry Kane only.
Yeah, obviously.
But the thing is, Harry Kane is not keen to join United because he wants a short thing of winning the league. Man U
he doesn't want to join another project.
because Man U is still pretty much a project, and they're still finding the right puzzles. Anyone in the right mindset will definitely take almost a 9 years younger Harry Kane over Ronaldo, because even to today, Ronaldo
9 years younger. Damn.
Yeah, he's 27, he's 36, so yeah, 9 years younger. Because I agree.
No, I'm just. Every time I think about it, Ronaldo performing at this level at this stage is
because
ridiculous.
Ronaldo is still scoring more than Kane. There's no doubt about that. He has been in his entire career and he's still scoring more than Kane. But how long is going to last?
Yeah, true.
Also, Ronaldo doesn't give assists. Harry Kane does nowadays. Earlier, when last season, Harry Kane never used to give assists. So Ronaldo was locked down, literally locked down. But now with Harry Kane adding that assist kind of quality, with him dropping back, and you can have Bruno.
But I think Kane always had that playmaking thing. Yes, this season he's added a lot more assists, but he always had that playmaking ability.
But it was not a finished product.
I think so.
It was never a finished product.
Fair enough.
Finished product counts.
Point taken.
The thing, when it becomes a finished product, it counts. So Rashford can make runs, Greenwood can make runs from behind, and Bruno can also be a shadow striker to Kane. So it's all will happen how the Euros go and what Kane makes of it. So yeah, that's up.
Hello.
Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Flying Fullbacks Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share. And for more such content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.